So, the other day I was strolling online trying to figure out a setup for a travel watercolor kit because, well, I want to be able to practice my watercolors whenever I travel anywhere, go on a trip. If I have downtime or whatever, I'd like to be able to bust out a pad and start watercoloring. So I picked this up. It's kind of a random buy. I saw it. Looked kind of nice. It's a Kolinsky travel watercolor brushes. It's a Fuumuui set, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it just looked really intriguing to me, so I just bought it. It wasn't too expensive. Probably about $20, $25-ish. And so it comes with this nice leather case. The leather is pretty soft. Definitely not real leather, but you know, it works. I don't need anything super fancy. The brushes come in these containers, and you unscrew them, and pop it out, and then they screw onto the back, and you have a huge brush. You know, it's definitely full size at this point, and it all fits, and it comes with 3 separate sizes: large, medium, small. They're just round brushes. All of these 3 look the same as these. They're just different sizes. So you have a number 12 round, you got a number 4 round, and you have a number 8 round. Now these are Kolinsky. They said that there are like sable brushes, I think. But I'm pretty sure that they're synthetic. There's no way that these are, for the price that I paid for them, there's no way that they're like true Kolinsky hair brushes. But they feel pretty nice. They have a nice soft feel to them. I'm curious to see as to how they stand up against my Princeton watercolor brushes, my Neptunes, because these brushes are fantastic. I cannot recommend these brushes enough. These are what I've been using for quite a while now, and as of right now, they're my favorite brush. I just got this quill that I'm excited to use for larger like backgrounds and stuff. But in any case, back to these. I'm very interested. One thing that I noticed right off the bat is the bristles are a lot stiffer. Like the tension that they hold is a lot firmer than my Princeton brushes. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes into play. I probably guess that would be a lot better for like scrubbing, for like lifting techniques on watercolor, but we'll see. Yeah, definitely this number 4 definitely has a lot more retention in the bristles. The other part of my travel setup is this. It's just a, you can probably get these, there's tons of these all over the place, but I needed a set of 12 because I wanted to mirror the same color choice that my at-home palette uses. So these are the same colors, I just have the primary colors, so reds, blues, and yellows, but I have cool versions, warm versions, and neutrals. I am going to wind up swapping out a couple of colors, like in this case the cool yellow is way too green. When I bought it online, it looked quite a bit different than what this is. These are M-gram paints, and they are fantastic. I was not liking them at first because when you put them right out of the tube, they are very sticky, and I'm pretty sure that has to do with the type of binder that M-gram uses. I think, is it like honey or something like that? I know that they use a different kind of binder than a lot of other manufacturers, but the paint was very, very sticky. Like, trying to work with it was just very frustrating. And then once the paint dried, you know, I put it from the tube into the palette. Once it dried, it was, now they're phenomenal. So that's the way that I am probably going to want to, I probably am never going to use these straight out of the tube again. And this is just some bit of white gouache here. Unfortunately, I can't put the white gouache in that palette because it doesn't have a 13 spot, but I rarely ever use this anyway, so it's not like a big loss or nothing. I really just want to keep my colors consistent, so that way while I'm practicing, mixing and stuff like that, I keep consistency between my colors. But like I said, and then also, so my warm red also looks way too orange, so it's too far into the orange, and then this one is too far into the green. So when I use up these colors and I go to order some more, these two I'm going to wind up shifting out for something. For this one needs to be a little bit more yellow, and this one needs to be a little bit more red. I like the way that I have the blue set up. The blue is really, really phenomenal. I like this red. I like this red. This red might actually take the place of this one, and then I might push this one a little bit more towards the warm red. Or not warm, sorry, cool. But in any case, enough about that. It's about these. So, yeah, I'm going to test these out. Test out my whole kit here. And see how it goes. I created this character. His name's Mr. Harmony. He is a librarian type character that I might be doing a story for. Kind of a interesting character that I got going on. So I'm going to paint him and get an idea of how the character is going to work. So that way I get to tackle two things at one time. I get to try out my new brushes and my travel watercolor kit, while also working on a new character. Alright, I'll jump into a time lapse and I will talk to you with my thoughts about these brushes. Alright, well, there's my little painting of my new character, Mr. Harmony. And, you know, I gotta say these brushes are fairly decent. They're not too bad. The little number 4 around here held a tip relatively well to get into these areas. You can kind of see where I spilt over a little bit, but that was more my fault than the brush. Like I said, it is a little stiffer, which does help with lifting and stuff. So it's not too bad. It does hold enough water and pigment for doing little small paintings like this, which is pretty much what I would do as I travel anyway. But if you were trying to do something bigger, you might find yourself re-wetting your brush more frequently than what you would be comfortable with. But all in all, it's not bad. I mean, they definitely work. They do the job. The results are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't see like stray hairs or nothing where the brush was falling apart and leaving hairs all over. And the one thing I gotta say is it does feel a little weird because this metal bit, this is made of metal, by the way. This metal bit here in the back weighs a lot, so it's very back heavy, which is something that I am completely not used to. Almost every single art supplies that I ever used is either weighted somewhere in the middle or weighted towards the front, where this is heavily weighted towards the back. You know, like my Princeton brushes, you can see that they're tapered pretty heavily in the back to keep all the weight towards the front. So I mean, that is a little, it's a minor critique. The build quality is very nice. The wood feels pretty supreme. It's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's a pretty good brush. I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's like, you know, top notch, but I mean, for for something that you are going to travel around with, it's probably going to get beat up. Something that's going to be cheap, so if you wind up losing it, you're not going to wind up, you know, freaking out about you losing your, you know, $30, you know, sable brush, and it's one. You get a pack of 3 brushes for like $20, but yeah, you get the case. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't really have anything else to say about it other than they do what I want them to do. It paints really well. They're relatively comfortable, other than the fact that the weight's in the back. And the build quality seems pretty solid. Like I said, I don't see any hairs falling out or nothing like that. So yeah, I guess I would give these a thumbs up for sure. So yeah. Alright, well, that's all I got to say about this one. I will catch you guys in the next one. Alright, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Alright, bye.